What if I told you that aliens are real? Statistics show that about half of you would call me a liar, and the other half would agree. I'm your host, PH, and you're listening to 1983. The reality of the situation we find ourselves in is there is no definitive proof that aliens do or do not exist. The fact, though, that surprises me is that the government admits to be investigating the existence of UAP. What's a UAP? It's what the government is calling UFOs. It stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. The concept of the government actually admitting that they're looking into it is terrifying. In the description, I have linked a few references to the articles I used for my research. DNI.gov has released a preliminary assessment for the investigation into UAPs. Basically, it's the Director of National Intelligence giving reasons for why they need to look into UFOs. Here are a few tidbits from the article. In a section titled, UAP Threaten Flight Safety and Possibly National Security, it states UAP pose a hazard, obviously, again, to safety of flight and could pose a broader danger if some instances represents sophisticated collection against U.S. military activities by a foreign government or demonstrate a breakthrough aerospace technology by a potential adversary. Obviously, that's terrifying. Because if our adversaries can figure out how to bend time and space, we're kind of screwed. In another section, the director admits we may not be advanced enough to understand what's going on. Although most of the UAP described in our dataset probably remain unidentified due to limited data or challenges to collection processing or analysis, we may require additional scientific knowledge to successfully collect on, analyze, and characterize some of them. We would group such objects in this category pending scientific advances that allowed us to better understand them. The UAPTF intends to focus additional analysis on the small number of cases where UAP appeared to display unusual flight characteristics or signature management, meaning cloaking and being able to go from 0 to 1,000 in like half a second. It is absolutely terrifying that we are admitting we have no idea what these things are. I actually laughed when I read that paragraph because it's probably the most honest I think I've ever heard the government about topics like this. Historically, they don't say we don't know very often. LiveScience.com mentions that some UFO videos have been declassified by the US Navy. You probably heard this. This was in the news quite a bit. I was actually exposed to one of these videos while working in a PSYOP unit in the US Army. It was a bone-chilling video that I wasn't allowed to tell my family and friends about until it was declassified. I figured it would be decades before we could talk about these things. Go check out the video I linked in the description. Joe Rogan had Commander David Fravor on his podcast talking about a training flight that he will never forget. There's no way for me to top how he described the experience, so I'll try to sum it up. He basically flew around a UFO for a few minutes and watched it do things that go against the laws of physics. Might be time to downgrade those laws to theories, if you ask me. Hopefully, you're just as excited about this as we are. We're going to be doing a lot more research for future episodes, as well as trying to share some of the things that we've found ourselves. Did you know that there are supposedly alien markings in Kelly Canyon, Idaho? I don't ever do this. I'm being told that I probably should. So once we get 200 downloads on this episode, we will be releasing the photos on a sister podcast's website. If you're interested in seeing them, feel free to share this episode with your family and friends. We may never know if aliens do exist, or if any of the UFO sightings we've heard about are actually alien in nature. But one thing is certain. If there is any proof that exists on this planet, we will find it and bring it to you. Thanks for listening into the podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.